Hi, everybody. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. It has been a bittersweet day for me. We finally had my going away lunch party with myself and my coworkers, and it made me think about all of the things that I'm going to miss about working where I currently work and with my amazing coworkers. But it's sweet because I'm finally closing down this chapter of working full time for corporate. And I actually have just 4 more days of working there full time. And I really just wanted to come on to share some really good news, which is I have completed one of the goals that I mentioned in my last video, which was for me to secure a part-time job. Yay! And when I recorded that video, I had already applied to a part-time position, as well as I had been contacted for an interview, but I hadn't done the interview yet. And I just want to tell you a little bit how God worked this out for me. About 3 months ago, a month before I gave notice, I actually had already started looking for other full-time positions that would allow me the flexibility and the mental space and even the downtime to do other entrepreneurial things while still working full time. Because I've seen that a lot of entrepreneurs kind of got their businesses off the ground before they kind of went cold turkey and left their jobs. And I wanted to do the same thing. So I started applying to all of these full-time positions that were 1 or 2 or sometimes even 3 levels below my current position, just to kind of keep things afloat while I started my life coaching business and as I started painting. And I had plenty of phone interviews. I had one in-person interview, but none of them panned out. And I started to feel uneasy about the thought of continuing to work full time. I started to wonder, how will I know if this job really does give me the downtime that I need to really pursue my life coaching business and my portrait painting business? So I eventually decided, okay, maybe God's trying to tell me something. None of these are working out. Maybe I should just sit still. And then if nothing comes up, I'll try again in the new year to apply to different positions. So I stopped applying to jobs and I determined to just coast out, finish out my last few months working with my current company, and then maybe pick up the search in January. So during that time, I started to think, well, maybe it's not that I want a full-time position, but I just want a part-time job. So with that in mind, I decided to, in January, pick back up on the call center job that I had a couple of months ago. The pay wasn't great, but it was stable and I was pretty good at it. And I enjoyed it. So I decided that I would pick that back up in January. Lo and behold, on the week of November 26th, and actually it was the Friday of that week, a good friend of mine told me about a position that she'd seen online for a part-time position in the field that I currently work in that pays more than twice as much as the other part-time position that I planned to return to. And I applied immediately that same day. She actually called me on a lunch break. And as soon as I got back to the office, I quickly submitted an application for that position. And they contacted me the next week to say, we'd like to bring you in for an interview. I interviewed the next week after that, and they offered me the position the very same day that I interviewed. And I just was blown away by the way all of that worked out, because it was getting closer to crunch time for me to start looking for a position if I wanted to remain employed in the month of January. So I was really surprised how it all worked out. But I trusted my intuition to just kind of be still and wait and see what happened. And during that time of stillness, I realized that it wasn't that I wanted to go cold turkey and have no job. And it wasn't that I wanted a full-time position that just was an easier job than my current one. I wanted something in the middle, which is a part-time position. And I'm very happy to say that that was a successful goal. So with this part-time job, I'll have all of my afternoons free. So I'll get off before 2:30 every day. And then I'll also have one day a week where I am completely off and will be able to do things from morning till night, whatever I need to do for either myself or for my businesses. And I have to admit that it is very scary leaving a full-time position that seemed to be the like the top level of where I wanted to be in my career. And it's something I had worked for many years, going to school for, and then, you know, going from the ground up and going up the ladder. So having this part-time job, even though I planned for my businesses to really take off, the part-time job in the same field, it does several things for me. It keeps me afloat financially so that I'm not desperate for coaching clients, and I'm not, desperate for people to buy my artwork. And I'll be secure in having my basic needs covered every month. It also opens up my schedule to do different things. So I'll have all of my afternoons free, and then I'll have that one free day a week to really dedicate to my business. It also opens me up to a new skill set within the field that I currently work in. So if, and this is a big if because I have faith that things will work out, but if they don't, I won't have an ugly gap in my resume where I ventured out and did these entrepreneurial things, which keeps me marketable. And it also teaches me a new skill set within my field. So it'll be work that I've never done before, which again, just makes me more marketable. It also allows me to maintain the camaraderie and the interaction with other adults every day, except for, of course, the one day that I'll be off. But I've heard from a lot of people who are entrepreneurs or people who work from home that it does get a little bit lonely. And I think it's a great thing that I'm easing myself into possibly a situation where I will be completely working from home or completely an entrepreneur. So that's a great benefit as well. So I just wanted to come on and share that one of the goals has been checked off of the list. Hopefully the position is enjoyable for me, and hopefully I will love my coworkers. I did really like the people that I interviewed with, so I'm pretty confident that everything will be fine. And just the way that things turned out through the course of applying to positions, being still, having this position just kind of fall into my lap, and then interviewing and getting offered the job the same day, I'm thinking that this will be an ideal situation for me. So I thank you for joining me on this next step in my pursuits to be a life coach as well as a portrait painter. And I can't wait to share with you the next steps. So thank you again, and we will connect very soon. Bye.